How's it going, IO? Today we're counting down the top 10 celebrities supporting Sophie Turner in her divorce. Number 10, Jessica Chastain. As we know, the Game of Thrones actress is currently going through a bitter divorce and custody battle with her husband of 4 years, Jonas. Since the news broke, Jessica has made it abundantly clear that she was siding with Sophie, who was her co-star in the X-Men spin-off Dark Phoenix. She took to Twitter last week and retweeted a post from writer and activist Roxane Gay. Roxane wrote, "The way Jonas miscalculated his popularity with his transparent attempts at PR manipulation, particularly when the North remembers, is fascinating. And holding the children's passports to keep them from their mother. The thing is, these are not people I know or follow. I just read the news. He has handled this so badly that now I'm paying attention." What's hilarious about this post is that it dives into all the chaos of the divorce and the way that Joe is very clearly the one acting badly. And out of the two of them, he's been the loudest when speaking about this situation. He was also the first one to be spotted without his wedding ring on as far back as August 11th when he was photographed picking up an iced coffee in New York City. And now he seems like he's doing everything in his power to try and destroy Sophie's reputation and paint her as a bad mother. Number 9, Taylor Swift. Just hours after the news broke that Sophie had filed a bombshell lawsuit against her ex and accused him of abducting their 2 children, she was seen hanging out with none other than Taylor Swift. The two of them stepped out for a girls' night in New York City and they linked arms walking through the streets as they grabbed dinner at Via Carota. They were then hanging out again recently where they were seen leaving a New York hotel with a very famous rooftop restaurant and bar. So the fact that they went out together twice recently has fans speculating about Taylor's involvement in Sophie and Joe's divorce. Because as we all know, Joe and Taylor used to date back in the day and that relationship left a really bad taste in her mouth, apparently because he wasn't a great boyfriend and he also broke up with her over the phone, on a call that lasted only 27 seconds. After the breakup, Taylor openly discussed him in her music, especially in her song Mr. Perfectly Fine. And now that Sophie is the one parting ways with him, Taylor is back in the picture and seems to be very supportive of their breakup. And in this case, it's crystal clear that she's on Sophie's side, which is a good thing because this divorce is just getting messier and messier. Number 8, Emily Ratajkowski. The model showed some subtle support for Sophie in a video that she posted on TikTok, and as per usual, she had an amazing take on this whole situation and the way in which a lot of women have to deal with similar issues when going through divorce. While she didn't directly name Sophie in the video, she clearly references their split and said, "So it seems that a lot of young ladies are getting divorced before they turn 30. As someone who got married at 26 who has been separated for a little over a year at 32, I have to tell you, I don't think there's anything better." Emily went on to say that there is nothing better than being in your 30s, still being hot, maybe having a little bit of your own money, figuring out what you want to do with your life and having tried that fantasy of marriage and kids, then realizing that, hey, maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be. She explained that the best part of this is the fact that you've still got your whole life ahead of you. And now obviously Emily is speaking from experience here because she divorced Sebastian Bear McLeod after 4 years of marriage last year, and that one was extremely messy as well. Number 7, Ashley Greene. Now that Joe is going through a nasty divorce, fans have been digging up some more of his problematic moments over the years, and one of them is easily how horribly he treated his former girlfriend, actress Ashley Greene. So in 2016 he got incredibly candid during a celebrity Reddit AMA, and he answered everything from the size of his you-know-what to how he lost his virginity. But not everyone was very happy with his response, because shortly after he revealed that he lost his V-card to Twilight star Ashley Greene, it ignited a heated feud between the two of them, because he didn't even change her name when telling the story. He wrote, "I lost my virginity to this girl named Ashley. You can probably Google it. It's pretty easy to figure out. I dated a girl named Ashley, so just Google it to figure out which Ashley that is." He then talked about how he trashed his roommate's room while hooking up with her, and unsurprisingly, that story went viral very quickly, and it reached Ashley in a matter of days. She then posted back a cryptic response on Instagram that read, "Class is timeless," basically saying that he was a jerk to expose her like that on the internet. Number 6, Bethenny Frankel. The reality star took to TikTok to reveal that she was cooking on the divorce between Sophie and Joe. In fact, she called Jonas just one of the Jonas guys, and thankfully Bethenny seemed to show some support for Sophie. In fact, she claimed that Nick and Joe both raised their stocks by getting married to Sophie and Priyanka Chopra. So really, they should have been thankful that they were able to marry these beautiful women in the first place. On the topic of the divorce, divorce, she wanted to know who was handling Joe's publicity and said that it seemed like they were trying to stay ahead of any bad press. Bethenny called the tactic "kill or be killed," implying that they were trying to control the narrative so he came out on top. This was a reference to all the news stories that were going around painting Sophie in a really negative light, especially the ones saying that she wanted to party more while he was the one who stayed home and had to take care of their children. Quote, "His PR team definitely said, 'We know this is coming and we've got to spin this thing. We've got to go and try to control the media.' Her team probably was just not teaming, and now it's a boomerang and it seems like it's backfiring." She ended the video by saying, "Do not underestimate the intelligence and instincts of women." Number 5, The View. During a recent episode of the talk show, the host commented on the divorce, and of course they all showed their support for Sophie. But they did take a major issue with the way that the media has been spinning the story. So Joy Behar questioned if the portrayal of Joe taking care of their children while Sophie parties was in fact sexist. A lot of the co-hosts agreed and said that it was a poor portrayal of Sophie. Sarah Haynes said, "I think the spin of this that bothers me is she's working, he's working, these weren't new careers, they met on these terms. She's at a wrap party for a show that she did, we have wrap parties here, you celebrate at the end. So that isn't just a bar that she's hanging out at. She happens to be with her colleagues at a bar celebrating the end of a series." Sunny Hostin agreed and said that she didn't like the story going around that Joe is the only one taking care of the kids. She said, "I'm sorry, is this an immaculate conception? They're his freaking kids too. So what if he's taking care of the kids? Does he get a gold star?" She also said that Sophie needs to party since she was so young when she got married and became a mother. Number 4, Diplo. The producer who livestreamed Joe and Sophie's surprise wedding in 2019 sent love to everyone involved in the divorce. He simply wrote, "I wish them all love," which kind of made it clear that he didn't really want to take sides. But the thing is, he does have a bit of a rocky relationship with Joe, and it's been rumored that they're not exactly the best of friends now. So a few months ago, Joe strapped in for a lie detector test as a part of Vanity Fair's YouTube series, and some of his answers were a little crazy. During the test, he admitted to being annoyed at Diplo for live streaming his wedding, and earlier that year he actually said that Diplo ruined his wedding by sharing it for the world to see. The interview then got a little uncomfortable when he was asked about being on the dating app Raya, which he admitted to, and sliding into women's DMs. So it was a really tense conversation to say the least, but it did reveal a lot of interesting information about how he really feels. There's no saying who Diplo really supports in this divorce, but like many celebrities, he's probably hesitant to make any real public comments about it. Number 3, The Fans. So over the last couple of weeks, more and more fans have been turning against Joe Jonas, and that's because the more they find out about him, the less they tend to like him. In the latest court documents, Sophie detailed all the places that the kids have been staying over the past year, and judging from the list, before they relocated to England, they didn't stay in one place for more than 4 weeks. This also means that Sophie gave birth to their second child and then spent her first year postpartum constantly moving around, from one rental home to another, which sounds like a recipe for disaster. Under a photo of the list, one person wrote, "This whole thing makes me angry. I can't believe he had the goal to file in Florida without telling her and then lie about it. And he absolutely lied about that because she would have filed in the UK first if she had known. Keeping those babies away from their home and mom is nasty." So people are really starting to pick up on what is happening, and the more they find out about their marriage, the worse it seems to get. Number 2, Nick and Kevin Jonas. Joe returned to the stage with his brothers Nick and Kevin Jonas for a Jonas Brothers performance, and he received very public support from them. Photos and videos from the event show that the 3 of them shared a group hug while they were on stage. Nick took it one step further and even referred to Joe as his favorite person in the entire world while he was addressing the audience. If you were unaware, the Joe Bros were performing in Casa Grande, Arizona, where Joe was born. They also gave Joe a hug after he performed the song Hesitate, which he described as a love song for Sophie. And this performance went down on the exact day that the news of the lawsuit broke. While we can assume that Nick and Kevin are on Team Jonas in this situation, divorces like this are often very complicated, and there isn't always just one person to blame. So it's more than likely that the Joe Bros have also shown their support for Sophie in this tough time in their lives. And coming in at number 1, Sophie Turner herself. In court documents, Sophie admitted that she was the one who was blindsided by Joe's decision to divorce. She said the breakdown of their marriage happened very suddenly after an argument that they had on August 15th. In fact, it was so unexpected that she said she learned about their split from the media at the same time as the rest of the world, and now she's demanding that their 2 children be returned to England. The complaint against Joe calls for the immediate return of children wrongfully removed. She claims that Joe agreed to declare England their forever home in conversations that took place around Christmas in 2022, while they were preparing for the year ahead. She said that after they sold their home in Miami, they were in the process of buying a home in the English countryside in April, but months later, after they ended up splitting up, she once again brought up this plan to move to England. Only this time, Joe no longer agreed to it. In fact, he had a complete change of heart, and since he filed for divorce in Florida, that basically ensured that the kids cannot leave the state while the proceedings are ongoing. So honestly, he's pretty much put a major stop to her plans. What do you guys think about this video and everything that's going on? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.